A great way to save money is to let your cancer-ridden pet die. More on that, but first, thank you to the founding sponsor of Undivided, 1530 Mortgage. Visit them at 1530mortgage.com. Man, if you have common sense and can think for yourself, there were so many cringe-worthy headlines and stories this week that I thought we gotta do a rapid-fire edition of our segment, Unbelievable. Let's start with this head-scratcher of an opinion piece from Bloomberg. The headline, "Inflation stings most if you earn less than $300,000. Here's how to deal." Now, we can start with the fact that $300,000 is a pretty high bar. The vast majority of Americans don't earn that much every single year, and there's a lot of room between not being able to cope with inflation and earning $300,000 a year. But the real unbelievable part of this opinion piece comes when the author tries to offer up some real simple ways that you can cut back on the amount of money you're spending. Things like eating more vegetables than meat, taking public transportation instead of driving. And the article goes on to suggest if you're one of the many Americans who became a new pet owner during the pandemic, you might want to rethink those costly pet medical needs. It may sound harsh, but researchers actually don't recommend pet chemotherapy, which can cost up to $10,000. So you heard it there from Bloomberg, a great way to save money is to let your cancer-ridden pet die. On to another head-scratcher. This one made the rounds on social media and introduced me to something I'd never heard of before, something called digital blackface. Twitter user @MichaelFolweiler offered this advice to us white people. Friendly reminder, if you're white, there's no reason to use a reaction GIF of a black person, aka digital blackface. For those of you who don't know what a GIF is, I'm assuming most do, but just in case, a GIF is those fun little pictures that you can post to accompany your thoughts. But apparently, if you're white, you're not supposed to choose a GIF that depicts a person of color. Like this. Or this. Or this. Because if you use any of those GIFs and you're white, then you're guilty of digital blackface. And apparently this isn't just this random man on Twitter's brainchild. This is something that there have been articles written about and that experts, quote unquote, have weighed in on. Oh, and it's worth noting that the white guy who tried to guilt us into not using those kinds of GIFs used one literally just last week. And now to one of the most unbelievable headlines I've seen in recent years, and it followed the shooting of 2 Pierce County, Washington sheriff's deputies, one of them fatally. This is the headline from the Tacoma News-Tribune. Man suspected of shooting 2 deputies had violent past, but was loved by many. Yet another example of why people are losing trust in the mainstream media. Now to a political story that might not be as obvious as to why it has made our list of unbelievable stories this week, but it has to do with mind manipulation. Washington Governor Jay Inslee signed into law a bill meant to protect against the type of anti-abortion measures taken in the state of Texas.
We're here today to sign House Bill 1851, the Affirm Washington Abortion Access Bill. We know this bill is necessary because this is a perilous time for the ability of people to have the freedom of choice that they've enjoyed for decades in the state of Washington.
But the truth is that bill isn't necessary. It is mind manipulation and political pandering, and it is designed only to scare voters into thinking that abortion access in Washington state, a blue state, is somehow in jeopardy when it's not. Democrats here believe that if they can scare moderates, particularly moderate women, into thinking that it's possible that our abortion rights in Washington state could be chipped away, that they will have Democratic voters for life. That's why they do things like that, and it is unbelievable.
You may not understand this because you've never been in the fight. No, you don't.
Our last unbelievable story takes us to the state of Ohio, where the leading 2 Republican candidates for Senate showed why both of them are unfit.
You don't know squat.
It's okay, right?
You don't know squat.
2 tours in Iraq. Don't tell me I haven't worked.
Back off, buddy. You're gonna
You back off.
Oh, come on. Never. That'll happen.
Let's sit down.
Never.
Watch.
Yeah.
Watch.
We'll square it away with the
dealing
rules.
with the wrong dude.
Come on,
No,
you
you're
guys.
dealing with the wrong guy. You watch what happened. You watch what happens.
Two grown men acting like complete children who want to be United States senators. Unbelievable. I want to take a minute to tell you about the founding sponsor of Undivided 1530 Mortgage. And what does it mean to be the founding sponsor? Well, it means that when I quit my job in corporate media and was panicking figuring out how I was going to make independent journalism work, 1530 Mortgage stood up and said, "We believe in what you're doing. We want to help." And they became the founding sponsor of Undivided. And I love working with them as a company. First of all, their mission is clear. 1530 Mortgage wants to get you into your dream home as quickly as possible. And that's what we all want, right? We want a company we can trust with one of the most important decisions that we're going to make in our lives. And also, I liked 1530 Mortgage because they believe in the mission of the show. They also support our men and women in uniform, which is very important to me. And they're very pet friendly. If you go to 1530mortgage.com, just take a look at what a central role that pets play in their idea of what it means to have a dream home. You know, it's more than just the house. It's all the things you love that are in the house that make it a home. And you guys know I have a slight obsession with our two dogs and our old, weird, wacko cat Edison. So I am so grateful to 1530 Mortgage for having my back, and I know that they'll be a great partner for you in your adventure to home ownership.